Tell you what.
All right, Dan.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Moneybags. I'm gonna make this more interesting for you. How about we double it? $2 million. $2 million says I beat your boy Dylan Dennis. I know you're gonna see this. I know you're gonna see this clip.
God damn.
You're coaching him. You're guiding him. He's definitely gonna show up, right? Yeah, fuck you. Both of you are all bark, no bite. $2 million that says I beat your boy. I will send you the contract tomorrow.
Wow.
But no, he's not gonna respond. All bark, no bite.
And like, there's something about like calling somebody out, which you immediately respect them a little bit more, like willing to put yourself out there for a fight.
Make a new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. You know, one of our big stars here, the king of violence. He titles himself, and you know he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against you know, a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend that we're all rooting.
Hold back this time when Logan Paul rejected a fight with Connor McGregor, one of the most hyped fighters of the influencer world, gets offered a chance to step into the ring with a legend. And what does he do? He politely passes. Of course, Joe couldn't let that slide. Logan is the guy who loves to flex about being a warrior, yet when it's time to face an actual fighter, he folds faster than a cheap deck chair.
I would like to fight Connor. I think it'd be really cool.
Do you think that you're too big for him?
I could cut to 185, and he's.
But size-wise, Connor was most effective at 145.
Yeah, but we'll always come back to, like, he's a professional fighter. I'm a YouTuber, you know, and so that's supposed to be the give and take of it. Like, why would I, a YouTuber who's 0-1, have any business beating the great Connor McGregor?
Conor McGregor is due to fight Logan Paul, not to be confused with Jake Paul, in India, for $250 million each. $250 million is more than Tyson and Usyk combined. Not even close. For just Conor will make more than Usyk and Fury made combined.
Jake Paul, Connor McGregor. Is that fight happening or what?
No.
Are you closed off to it completely?
I'm never completely closed off to anything. I used to say that about, you know, things, but I don't say that anymore.
Smart.
Because you never know. You never know what could happen.
And
Let's not pretend this was just another match. No, this was McGregor, the trash-talking, headline-stealing Irishman. The fight could have shattered pay-per-view records, brought Logan real credibility, and let fans see if the guy could actually fight. But nope, instead Logan cemented his legacy as a guy who ducks fights but never ducks drama.
My only concern, too, is if Conor doesn't take this serious and, like, kind of moseys in, he's partying, you know, I think he'd get fucked up. That's what's interesting to me. Now, if it's prime Conor, Logan might get pieced up. One point, you got to get it with the Paul brothers. One fought Mike Tyson. The other's fighting Conor McGregor. No matter how you feel about it. The right to fight Logan Paul, and Dana hates the Pauls. You know how Dana holds grudges. We know how he holds grudges. For him to be in cahoots with the Paul brothers in any facet.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back in pointing out the sheer absurdity of Logan Paul's decision, laughing at how the YouTube star turned WWE sideshow managed to cook up a storyline even more ridiculous than his matches sarcastically that only Logan could turn down the fight of a lifetime against one of the greatest UFC stars ever in a legendary venue like Mumbai's Wong KY Stadium, probably because he's far too busy perfecting his teddy bear wrestling skills in WWE.
Logan's very busy. I would assume that he probably didn't come up with this on his own. I would assume that someone probably came to him with this project. This is just total assumption, guessing on my part.
So we have text messages from behind the scenes. A lot of people, the people who were responsible for it, say Logan kind of spearheaded the idea. And he says he spearheaded the idea.
So it was his idea.
Logan Paul's reputation as a fighter has always been shaky, to put it generously. His claim to fame in the ring includes a boxing match, according to Rogan Dennis, do fewer punches in 6 rounds than most people throw at a punching bag during warm-ups, and Logan's big win was because Dennis tried to choke him mid-fight. That's not a victory. That's an escape from embarrassment, Rogan quipped.
Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are featured as part of the historic Visit India tourism campaign, so it's government funded, yeah? It's a clash in Mumbai, iconic stadium. The two will be rewarded for their efforts, with McGregor set to walk away with $250 million. That's more than to fight Floyd.
But let's get back to Conor McGregor. Love him or hate him, McGregor brings a level of star power and credibility that few can match. Sure, he hasn't fought since 2021, and his record isn't spotless. But even a half-broken McGregor is leagues ahead of Logan Paul. Joe, put it bluntly, Conor would dismantle Logan with one leg. Heck, he could do it blindfolded, and it'd still be over in less than 3 rounds.
The event will be funded by the Ambani family dynasty, the richest in India. See how much they're worth? So 500 million has to be pennies for them. So India's Ambani family tops Forbes list of Asia's richest families. You know how rich you got to be Asia's richest family? Singapore, India's Ambani family tops 2017 Forbes list.
Proposed $250 million payday for each fighter was another juicy tidbit that Rogan couldn't resist mocking $250 million. That's not just life-changing money that's buy your own island and never see a Paul brother again money. And Logan walks away from it. Either he's got more money than brains, or he knows exactly how bad that fight would go Logan Paul, the self-proclaimed internet sensation, turned. Wannabe Fighter is truly living up to the family legacy. He's Jake Paul's older brother, and if theirs. One thing these two share besides their last name is their knack for cherry-picking fights. Jake, the king of carefully curated opponents, famously avoided legitimate boxers until he couldn't anymore. And Logan, he's not much different. In fact, the apple didn't just fall close to the tree, it practically rolled right into Jake's backyard. I would
love to do a UFC fight.
Man, who the hell are you gonna fight, bro?
Who do you want me to fight, Mike?
Maybe Connor or something like that.
Remember Jake's legendary challenge to Mike Tyson? That wasn't just a random choice. Tyson in his 50s is far from his prime. Sure, he's still a boxing icon. But let's be real, he's not the same Iron Mike who ruled the heavyweight division decades ago. Logan, inspired by Jake's audacity, seems to be taking the same route. Big names, low risk. It's a strategy that screams more about maintaining a brand than proving actual skill. Logan's fight history follows the same formula: a match against Floyd Mayweather. A 50 boxing legend sounds impressive until you realize it was an exhibition with zero stakes. Floyd didn't even bother to train like he would for a real fight. And still Logan barely landed a punch. Meanwhile, Jake kept himself busy taking on aging MMA fighters and basketball players, sidestepping actual boxers with every opportunity. The brothers might as well trademark the term strategic opponent selection.
Yeah, with Jabber.
Great, man. G and Jake Gyllenhaal.
That might work. I don't know what was going on there.
You know what was going on, brother. You know what was going on.
You know what was going on, you know what was going on. So when Connor McGregor's name came up, it was a chance for Logan to do something different, to actually fight someone with credibility and skill. But what did he do? The same thing Jake would have done, backed off faster. Then he dodges tough questions in interviews. After all, why face someone like McGregor when you can stick to safe, profitable bouts against opponents who either don't know how to? This isn't about money or fame, Rogan argued. Logan thrives in controlled environments. WWE. He can script his moves. Misfits. Boxing. He's picking opponents who barely qualify as threats. But McGregor, that's a different ball game. That's stepping into the ring with someone who can destroy your brand in under 10 minutes. And that's really the crux of it. Logan doesn't want to be a fighter. He wants to look like a fighter. There's a difference. Fighters take risks even when the odds are against them. And Rogan couldn't resist poking fun at the idea. Imagine flying halfway across the world to watch Logan Paul get knocked out in front of 30,000 screaming fans. That's not a tourism campaign. That's a live-action meme, he joked. But Rogan didn't stop there. He went after the broader trend of influencer boxing, calling it a sideshow masquerading as a sport. Logan Paul, according to Joe, is the poster child for this phenomenon. We've gone from gladiators fighting for honor to influencers playing dress-up in the ring. It's like turning the Olympics into a tick. Talk dance off. Rogan said his frustration palpable now. Logan's entire persona is built on marketing and theatrics. Joe pointed out that Logan's rejection of the McGregor fight isn't just a missed opportunity. It's a glaring admission that he's not ready for the big leagues. Logan talks a big game, but when it's time to walk the walk, he's nowhere to be found. He's like a wrestler who runs out of the ring the moment the bell rings, Rogan said. And yet Logan Paul somehow keeps winning, not in the ring, but in the court of public attention. Rogan acknowledged that Logan's decision to duck McGregor might actually work in his favor. This guy knows how to spin anything into a narrative. He'll probably say McGregor's not worth his time or some nonsense like that. And his fans, they'll eat it up like it's gospel.
If it's prime Connor, Logan might get pieced up. One point, you got to get it to Paul brothers. One fought Mike Tyson, the other's fighting Connor McGregor. I don't know how you feel about it.
OE wrapped up his rant with a question that cuts to the heart of the issue. At what point do we stop pretending Logan Paul is a real fighter? He's a marketer, a showman, a walking billboard. But a fighter not even close. Logan's connection to Jake makes everything crystal clear. This isn't about fighting, it's about spectacle. The Paul brothers have turned the fight game into a circus act where the goal isn't to win respect, but to rack up paychecks and headlines. So what can you expect from Logan more of? The same, whether it's exhibitions or cherry-picked matchups. He's sticking to the family script. Don't expect real fights, just real marketing Logan Paul. Rejecting a fight with Connor McGregor isn't just a missed opportunity. It's a clear message. Logan doesn't want to prove himself in the ring. He wants to stay in his carefully curated bubble. And while that strategy might keep his brand intact, it also exposes a reality that Logan Paul is more interested in controlling his narrative than fight. Let me know. Until then, I'll stick to watching real fighters. So what do you think? Is Logan Paul actually too scared to face a real fighter? Or is he just too busy starring in his own circus? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's see if anyone can come up with an excuse more ridiculous than Logan's.
I feel like Logan Paul at his size, when he fought Floyd too, that was years ago. He's like been training, he's in an insane shape.
Man, I wish Connor wasn't doing these types of...
Proposed $250 million payday for each fighter was another juicy tidbit that Rogan couldn't resist, mocking $250 million. That's not just life-changing money, that's buy your own island and never see a Paul brother again money. And Logan walks away from it. Either he's got more money than brains, or he knows exactly how bad that fight would go. Logan Paul, the self-proclaimed internet sensation, turned wannabe fighter, is truly living up to the family legacy. He's Jake Paul's older brother, and if there's one thing these two share besides their last name, it's their knack for cherry-picking fights. Jake, the king of carefully curated opponents, famously avoided legitimate boxers until he couldn't anymore. And Logan, he's not much different. In fact, the apple didn't just fall close to the tree, it practically rolled right into Jake's backyard. I would